Patrice Johnson, and today I am here with none other Paul. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, yes, I am Paul Gooden Jr. Senior is my father. Been in the industry for about 8 years. I love what we do. I love to help people. So I hope I'm ready to get into it, Patrice.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
So, as we get into it, I want to talk a little bit about your background into entrepreneurship. Can you tell us about your early career in the military and what led you to pursue something beyond the Marines?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, and thank you for that question. I served 8 years in the Marine Corps as an infantry machine gunner, as well as an aircraft rescue firefighting specialist. So I kind of got the best of both worlds. All right, I got to be a
Mhm.
firefighter and I got to be a Marine all at the same time, which was pretty cool. But right out of high school, I joined the Marines, and I wanted to do something that gave me service and purpose. But honestly, I was trying to take care of my family. I'm from a
Mhm.
small town in Southwest Georgia, so there's not a lot of opportunity. So where I'm from, you kind of join the military, or you kind of go join one of the kind of chicken plant or the beer plant, and that just wasn't for me. It
Yeah.
wasn't for
Yeah.
me at all. And
Well,
so yeah. Mhm.
thank you for your service, though. I want to make sure I threw that in there, but keep going. I'm
Yeah,
listening.
absolutely. Pleasure's all mine, trust me. And so I just really wanted to find a career path that would allow me to build something great, to serve my community. But I decided that after 8 years that I was going to get out instead of stay in, which was kind of a shock to a lot of people.
Okay. So when did you first realize that you wanted to pursue entrepreneurship instead of the traditional job? And what was that moment
God, it's so crazy, right? Because we have so many points we think might be the ones, so
like?
it's kind of hard to nail them down. But I'll do my best.
Yeah.
I realized that I really didn't want to kind of work the traditional job. When I was exiting the Marine Corps or right before, I started to interview the rest of my life, if you will. So everyone who was exactly where I knew I was going to be in the next 3, 4 years, I started looking at their lives, looking at their family lives, kind of looking at how they are as people. Do they like it? Do they hate themselves for staying in? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw a lot of disappointment. I saw a lot of dissatisfaction, and so
Yeah.
I kind of made that I kind of made that decision to be like, you know what, I don't want this. But after serving our country in multiple combat deployments and humanitarian missions, I was like, I really don't want to work for anybody either. So what's the
Mhm.
best thing to do is find some industry that I can provide a service to people that will allow me to earn income and kind of control my life.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So, obviously before this, we were doing a lot of chatting and things like that.
Yeah.
And then you told us about this new path that just randomly landed on your lap. So you had mentioned to me that there was a pivotal moment at a gas station where a young recruiter inspired you with ideas of freedom, flexibility, and income potential. Can you walk us through that experience and what convinced you to take that leap?
It's so crazy, right? Because it's like, who's gonna make a life decision at a gas station? But believe it or not, I 1000% did, because I was working in a warehouse. I was attending business school, trying to figure out this entrepreneurship thing in business, and I had one of the worst days ever at work. And I kind of prayed out to the universe, to God, to whatever you believe in, right? And I was like, hey, I need a shot. This isn't this isn't it, right? Working in a
Yeah,
warehouse, taking care of my family is paramount, but I just knew that I was not on the path that I wanted to be on. I was not exercising my full potential. And this young lady actually kind of, she was pumping gas and I'm pumping gas. And, we kind of make eye contact and we start having a conversation. And I just saw how happy she was. All right.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, what do you even do? Because it's the middle of the day. You're driving this really nice Mercedes. You don't look like you're stressed out at all, right? Your skin is
yeah,
glowing. You look happy. So I'm like, what do you do? And she kind of told me that, hey, she's in the financial services industry, and her and her husband, at the time, it was her fiance, and they run a business together, and they're really expanding, looking for good people. And so we exchanged information, and I went in and had a conversation with them, and the rest is history. That was about 8 years ago, and we're really good
yeah.
friends to this day.
Man, that's amazing. And I love hearing that. But you also had to make a really big decision before making that leap. So leaving a stable position can be a tough decision. How
Yeah.
did your girlfriend, your now wife, support you through this change? And what was the hardest part about leaving a warehouse job?
Really, really great questions, Patrice. I love these questions.
Thank
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough decision, because as all of us know, like we're really taught to go work for somebody else,
Yep.
and from the time we're knee high, right? And so
Mhm.
it was definitely a different thought process and a trajectory. But my wife, who was in my girlfriend, is a freaking angel, right? She
Yeah.
supported me in every way possible, spiritually, like emotionally. There was even times that when I was trying to figure it out and I was struggling financially, she would put groceries in my freezer for me to feed my kids, which is why she's
Yeah.
now my wife, right? So I'm gonna give her the world because she had my back when I was kind of at my lowest, when I was trying to start in business and figure it out. So she is my rock, and she's awesome, and we're in business together.
Yeah. And there's nothing like a good support system. I know early on, and I don't know if you can share this. I know a lot of new agents do. Your family and friends don't believe in it. I know my mom ragged on me forever, but for me, she'd be like, you have to depend on someone to say a yes. And I'm like, so do I for a job application.
Right?
So do I for a promotion. But if I bet on me, I can't lose.
Can't lose. Can't lose.
Right? So you've had a lot of success in the business and you within the field. Sorry, let me go back. So you've achieved significant success in the field. What were
Mhm.
some of the biggest milestones in your journey and what does those accomplishments mean to you?
Oh God. The accomplishment, I'll kind of start that question in reverse. I want to tell you what it means to me before I talk about the
Yeah,
accomplishment. It means to me that I have helped protect families who are just like mine, who
mm,
come from the background that I come from. Maybe don't have a lot of income, don't have a lot of opportunity. If your environment, you see drugs, you see D-boys, you see all those things, right?
yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah,
you're trying to find something that's positive to hold on to. And I know what that's like because that's how I grew up.
yeah,
So for me to be able to sit with a family who's never heard of any type of financial concept, no rules of money, nothing, and be able to, number one, help educate them, and then sit with them and let them know that, hey, I'm just like you. And then I come from where you come from, right?
yeah.
And now I can help you actually take your income, whether no matter what it is, and make it more productive for your family. That just means the world to me.
No,
One
1000%. And
1000%.
I relate to that so much with relating to client. I actually was with a client last night and it was 8 p.m. So I was already tired and sleepy, but I got so emotional talking to her because this is for my heart. Like, baby, I don't
Mhm.
care if you buy, but because I know when
Right?
you sit with me, you're gonna know better. So you're gonna
Absolutely.
do better, or you're not.
Absolutely.
That's and I don't care where you get the insurance for, you just need to get it. But I was telling her, me and my siblings, both of our parents are gone and we like to joke, that we're orphans. That's
Yeah.
our way of laughing at our pain.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I was telling her when my dad had passed away, he had life insurance. And so we only had to deal with the emotional part of losing him. And I
Right.
said, but the biggest thing that it did for me, it changed my life. I was working at Amazon at the time and I was a picker, which was awful. Like you were just running around for 10 hours straight. And baby, my
Wow.
body was snatched. Okay.
Wow. Right?
But the
Steps
thing
get
about it
in,
was
steps get in.
you're working but you're working at a warehouse and you're not making too much money. I think $15 an hour there at Amazon
Mhm.
at the time. So I had just bought these brand new Nike shoes and it got a hole in it on the side.
Mm.
$80 shoes, brand new 2 months later. Dude, I was in tears. I could not afford to buy new shoes. I had to keep wearing those shoes. My dad dies 2 months later,
Mm.
and then we get the check. I bought me 10 pairs of Nikes. I was like,
Right?
I'm never going to feel like that again. And
Right?
they are still gently warm. Those shoes are over 10 years old. And basically they're broken in, but they
Mhm.
still look new. And
Yeah.
to me, it's like, it's not that it wasn't about the money. It changed my life. It helped uplift out of it. And that's what that is, what they say. The Bible says you're supposed to leave an inheritance for your family because look what
Right.
my father did for me and my sisters.
That's right.
He changed us. So I
Your children, children,
appreciate you
children.
being a man of your word, being a man in this business and
Yeah.
showing other families how to do this. So you had your first company that you joined and you loved it, but then you said it became corporatized.
Mhm.
What changes did you see and what in the environment no longer felt like it was a right fit for you?
Great question, and that's a perfect segue to kind of take that two-parter you just asked me and bring it to
Yeah.
this question because I have nothing bad to say about my previous company. I like to
Yeah.
call it my practice company. Won't call any names. We're going
Of
to be
course.
ethical, right? But the reality is, um, the dream I was sold when I started there, when I partnered with my broker, it was like that for a few years.
Yeah.
And in those few years, like some of those milestones that I accomplished, I became a junior broker in my first year. I had part-time, I had made an additional $50,000, $60,000, and I decided to go full-time and just go full bore. and really started helping people. I trained more than 150 agents in my first year to be able to do this. And so we had a lot of success and had a lot of people, help a lot of people get success. But what happened was, as a lot of companies do in America, unfortunately, they start hiring people who aren't in the field and you're
Mhm.
earning more income than them, but they get to make the rules on what your life looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that started happening.
Mm.
The company was looking to move from its parent country because it was a country who owned kind of a subsidiary, etc. And so they moved to the Bahamas, and then so things started getting very, very corporatized.
Yeah.
They started pushing spouses out of recognition.
Mm.
Spouses were a part of recognition, and all of a sudden, spouses won't be recognized, right? And it's all about family. So why can't my wife be recognized and she's in the business, but just because we write under my code, right?
And she's obviously a very huge part of this because we just wined and dined over your wife for a good
Right?
2 minutes. And that's
Right?
not enough.
Right?
So
Exactly.
I
Like
can't
she
imagine
is the
that.
heart. She's the heart
Yeah.
of the business because she makes me look good. I tell people all the time.
Hmm.
She makes me look good. Dealing with the team and the licensing and contracting and coordinating and operations, like she is a mastermind. She's super, super organized. I'm a Gemini, so I just like to run, go figure it out, get it done. Like we'll make it happen. I'm gonna figure out how to do it, right? That's just my nature. And so she keeps me in line and makes me look good. So why should she not be recognized? And she's a major part of our business. And
Yeah.
then the comp started changing. The comp started getting chipped
Mm.
away at. And I'm like, what? Why is the comp getting chipped away at? Right. And then they start kind of pushing one product over another. And then, the people, the kind of legacy leaders who've been there who don't really build the
Yeah.
business anymore started getting extra bonuses. Oh, that's coming from our compensation. So we're fighting for the scraps. And just the nastiness of, well, I'm in the corporate office, I get to control this. That a lot of that started happening. And
Yeah.
so, my last couple of years there, it was just not in my spirit to my recruiting went down because it just wasn't in my spirit to sell people a bill of goods. I'm a person of integrity. I'm not going to lie to people and tell them you can do
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z when I'm watching the company kind of remove those things. They had an ownership program. All of a sudden, the ownership program has been
Wow.
removed. Nobody knows about it. So all kinds of things. And my spirit wasn't happy. I knew it, my wife knew it. And so we were really looking for a home that would allow us to, really, really have our morals and values at the forefront.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for sharing that. And before I segue to the next question, I wanted to pin back to something you said. You said
Absolutely.
something about the commission going down. How did that happen? Was that within your contract? Did they have you guys sign new stuff and you know, you trusting them to
Mhm.
do right by you? You went and signed some stuff that basically gave them legal control over you. Like what happened? Like I'm curious about that because I want
Yeah.
my listeners to be looking out for that. Is that happening to you? Had that happened to you? Will it happen to you?
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, they did it in a very diabolical way. They had everybody say, "Hey, we have new president coming in and new X, Y, and Z. So we just want to have everybody with their new agent agreement." And so
Wow.
deep within the fine print, that new agent agreement. So always read everything, even if it's from
Yeah.
your company,
Yeah.
and even though they may be doing well by you right now, if they're talking about new this and that, read thoroughly. And unfortunately, a lot of us did it. And so deep, I'm talking about very deep into the contract. It kind of gave them the permission to start messing around with the compensation as they see fit.
Wow.
And so why would we not believe it if everything else for this year has been okay, and all of the new, kind of staff comes in, and the new president brings a new staff, very corporatized, right? And so now things are starting to change. And so it's very, very subtle, but we start
Yeah.
noticing it, and everybody's kind of like, what the heck is going on? And then we had to go back and dig and find that very, very tiny small print that we kind of signed and say, hey, we're going to agree to this. And so it's
Wow.
they're very diabolically underhanded, but corporations, right?
That yeah, yeah. So you obviously was like you were inspired and inspired in a way that I need to look for a new home.
Yeah.
So I know this was no longer, hitting the family values that you were looking at. So you find a new home. How did that shift impact your growth in your leadership after experiencing that?
That's such a great question because I was so down on myself because I was a leader in the Marine Corps. I'm an eldest of 7 kids, right? So like leadership is
Yeah.
kind of what I do. And so I was in the dumps for a while because I'm like, man, I'm not growing, and if I'm not growing, that means I'm not providing the value for my team to grow, and that's when you kind of start shedding great people because you're lacking in leadership. But with this switch that we made, oh my goodness, like it's all about leadership development, resources,
Yeah.
coaching, millionaire mentorship. And I'm talking about as part of the company ethos, as part of the company's makeup, the skeleton of it. It's not something you got to pay for or qualify for. Like literally, it's like, hey, we're here to help you become the best version of yourself in order to lead your people to be help them become the best version of themselves and to take care of families. Because when we all do that, the company rises as a whole anyway by taking care of the families and taking care of the agents.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was so powerful.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. And it's like, I want people to hear and see this, like, this is how you're supposed to act.
yeah,
This
absolutely,
is trust,
absolutely.
transparency, integrity, respect, all the things, professionalism, all the things that we're looking for in an agent in this industry. So
Hmm.
you move on, you find a new home,
Yep.
everything's great.
Yes.
You're making everything nice. I know the wife is, putting it down, making sure everything looks good and functioning well for your new team. But now
Mhm.
you're trying to grow. And in this industry, there's a lot of opportunities. They try to sell you leads, sell you marketing, sell you this, sell you that. And you felt that, ultimately it's like the money wasn't worth the results. Like, what kept you guys pushing forward despite that? And how are you trying to overcome that in terms of trying to grow your team?
Yeah, that's fantastic. So now, my new home, that's not even an issue, but that's a great point because COVID kind of made everybody reassess and readjust, right?
Yeah.
And so we figured, okay, well, we have to figure something out because no matter what, like this is all that we do. We are full
Yep.
time, all the time, 100%. I don't have a part-time hustle, part-time gig. Like this is how we eat. This is how we help others eat. So we started really looking at ways to find value and to just recruit, future business partners. But before COVID, it was like people were trying to have us, well, spend this amount of money to talk to this person because there's sales in this. And I get that it works in some industries.
Yeah.
But just for our industry, I just couldn't understand the value of that when you weren't talking to me about what makes me better.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. What helps my business, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're loyal people. So we're like, look, we made a commitment to each other, my wife and I, and we made a commitment to our partners, our brokers, to be like, hey, we want to ensure that we keep our word that we made to you. You said you're going to keep your word that you made to us, no matter what. We're gonna rock and roll till the wheels fall off of this thing. So let's just figure it out. So we figured out how to find the people that were looking for us and actually continue to grow through the pandemic that had some of our best years actually because everybody kind of woke up and realized that, hey, my
Yeah.
good job with my benefits decided that they're not doing anything and I gotta still
Yeah.
eat. I gotta still pay rent. I gotta pay mortgage, right?
Exactly. And the only
Yeah.
person making that decision in this business is me.
That's it.
That's
Right.
it. So,
That's it.
obviously you're running your business with integrity and trust and all the things because of what you went through. And you're like, I'm never going to let an Asian experience that. So obviously you're looking for people to find you and obviously you're looking for them too. So I'm praying the universe brings y'all all together. Like a happy family, but what do you look for in potential recruits or business partners, and what qualities do you believe are most important for long-term success?
Great question. What I look for is someone who, number one, has integrity and who's doing
Mhm.
this for the right reasons.
Yeah.
If it's just to make a whole bunch of money, then there's a thousand other financial companies that you should probably go and apply with because that's not what we're looking for, right? You could probably see kind of our ethos in the back here, our 5 F's, we call it, our fulfillment formula. It goes faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun,
Love
right?
it. Yep.
We think when you partner with us that you get better in all five of those areas, and we strive to help you get better in all five of those areas, whatever it looks like for you.
Mhm.
And so that is at our rock, that's our ethos. But I think the values that will help someone actually do well long term in this industry, in this business, is number one, integrity, right? Number two is commitment, right? Because to get good at anything, it takes time and commitment, right?
Yeah.
Having great character, always being a person of your word, doing what you say you're going to do, right? For
Right.
yourself and for your clients, the business, and just always leading, always being a servant leader, being a
Yeah.
servant leader, being selfless. Once you, I
Yeah.
always tell my team, once you become a leader, there is like your ability to be whiny or mad, all that stuff goes out the
Yeah.
window. You have a responsibility and a duty to the people that you bring on into your agency, into your team, to fulfill the promises that you make to them. Now they must do the work. They got to meet you halfway, but you must do your part as a leader. So I can be going through a million things, and we're all going through things at some point.
Yeah.
My team
Yeah.
will never know. They will never know when I was, back in my old company, I got a $7,000 charge back just because I did everything right and somebody messed it up, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Working through that, the team will never
Right.
know. They never knew. So all that just having stickability, coachability, and teachability as well to wrap that up for you. Being
No,
able to be coached, being able to be coached and really take advice for someone who may be younger than you, who may be older than you, but is trying to look out for your best well-being in this industry. And teachability is being able to actually take the information that you learn and apply it. So I think those things will help someone long-term in this industry. Lead with heart first and you'll be okay.
no, you're absolutely right. So obviously, I know amazing people are finding you and are on their way to finding you. So can you share with me and us the system in place to help new agents get licensed, get onboarded? Can you share more about how the process works from application approval to prepping agents for licensing and beyond?
Absolutely. We as a firm have everything systematic, it's systematized, right?
Mhm.
There's no guesswork. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to go watch YouTube videos. Once we have an interview with you, and we determine that you're a fit, you determine that we're a fit to partner together. We explain everything that you need right up front, right? The cost, the investment into yourself to get your background check done that every company has to do because we're in the financial services industry. We have laws in place at the federal level, state level. We have to do that. We do something special for our agents. We have made with our education provider, we have actually worked out a negotiation. So when you contribute your investment into yourself for your background check, we cover your cost of your study material for your state exam.
Fantastic.
Right. So
Yeah.
we look at it this way. If you're going to invest your time and effort and believe in us, then we're going to show you right off the bat, we're going to invest some time and effort into you and cover your cost of your study material,
Yeah.
quite frankly. And we have a system in place that allows our agents to get licensed within 5 to 10 days. I know you're like, how in the heck does that work? I'm not going to get into too much proprietary stuff, but we actually have a system that have people getting licensed within 5 to 10 days. I've literally had 3 people in my agency in the last month they literally did 2 days of studying, cramming for the exam, and when they passed their exam the first time.
That's insane.
Right? It's insane because we have a system of teaching you hands-on in the field how to practically use your license
Yeah.
versus you trying to study everything and most of the stuff on your study material you're probably never going to run into.
Exactly.
Right?
You know, you're 100% right.
Right? But the state has a requirement, so we want to make sure our agents get licensed quickly, so we can hurry up and help them become a net licensed agent, make their first $1,000 within the first month of getting their license back from the state. And we have a system for every step of the way, starting from onboarding all the way into hitting your broker position and earning 6 figures with the company. Everything is systemized. There's no guesswork. Everybody knows what that is because we teach you every step of the way.
And I love that. Like you truly have your agents have the ability to hit the ground running. Like
Mhm.
I've heard that a lot, but it's never been that way. And I certainly didn't pass my test in the first time. They were like, go to license coach and figure it out and come back. Because
Oh my goodness.
what I like about what you guys got going on so far, and I'll say this again and again, a lot of the agencies and the industry, they are truly like purchasing a franchise, but
Mhm.
they don't give you a handbook or anything. They give you the keys and they walk away, and you're just like, what are the hours of operations? What do I do? I'm so confused. And I
Yeah.
love that you have a setup that takes out the guesswork. So I'm already willing to commit and be here, but I'm also really confused. This is brand new for me. Can you make it
Mhm.
easier? I mean, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be there. What are you doing for me? Right. And I
Right.
love that there's the
Absolutely.
give and the take. And even that cost of the licensing and background, at the end of the day, I was at an IMO where they didn't charge fees, but I paid over $300 for my licensing test and fingerprinting. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So, and again, it's another way to have agents put skin in the game. Hey, I'm showing it's a give and it's a take.
Absolutely.
Now, you guys have a lot of resources as far as training and things like that, but to really get them going, you guys do a lot of role playing and setting expectations as key part of your onboarding process. How do you ensure that new agents understand the business and feel confident in their roles?
That's a great question. Because we have so many resources, we don't just say, "Hey, throw you into this blender of a company of 20, tens of thousands of agents." Like we do things, we break it down into span of control, if you will, if I can use a military phrase.
Yeah.
Right, span of control. So we have weekly meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays. And Monday is our hierarchy meeting, right? So all of our brokers that work together, we get our entire teams on there and we train them on things from mindset to business development to understanding the playbook of the system to understanding, maximizing your recruiting efforts. No matter what it is, it changes, but it's always something that gives them direct tangibles and intangibles that they can go and
Yeah.
apply immediately. Wednesdays is my single agency training, to where now I'm going to I run a lot of boot camps on Wednesdays for my team, closing boot camps, product boot camps. So we have these through the company. Our company gives 15 to 20 different trainings during the week, right?
Yeah.
Just for those who can tap in on a Zoom. There's no cost. It's free. It's our ethos. We want to ensure every single one of our agents are technically and tactically proficient, right? We need
Yeah.
to right now. We got to make sure you know how to do this properly, because we need to take care of clients. If we just give you the keys to the kingdom and you don't know what to do with it, you still are ill prepared. You won't get
Yeah,
results because
absolutely.
we're not helping you, right?
Exactly.
And so we have a system for all that. So we train with our direct agents twice a week. And obviously we have 10 to 20 hours of hands-on training in the field, before you even go into the our what we call certified field trainer program, to know that now you go into a class after that to kind of polish it up. And then when that leader of that class signs you off, then you actually come sit with your individual broker like myself, and then we spot check and we sign you off. So not only is that
Wow.
systematic, but we want to make sure that every level that you know how to go out here and properly take care of families. So now you get the results. You have your license. You're going through the training. Now, when you go and sit with someone, you're not fumbling all over the place. We know that you know how to do this and help people.
Yeah.
All of my CFTs, the minute within their first week, they close in 4, 5, 6 applications with families and households, helping them right after the training, because they're riding that momentum of always being in
Yeah.
touch and kind of close to the fire, as I call it.
Yeah. And I love that. Like I mean, I know it's a boot camp, but it is truly a boot camp in every sense because they got to get signed off. I've been through several practice companies, give or take, over my over the 10 years I've been in this industry, give or take. And they might have a boot camp, but it's something that's self-led. Like no one's gonna come and check on me. And the
Mhm.
thing is, it's not that I'm not accountable. I want to know you care. Do you know that I'm
Mhm.
good? You know what
Right.
I mean? You're my coach, you're my teacher, my like I can't imagine, joining the Lakers and then the coach is not showing up to
At
check
all.
if I did practice right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where's
Yeah, absolutely.
like where's the education? Where's the continuous learning and shaping me? And again, I always say this too. My favorite professor in college, Michael Maine. I hope he ever hears this. My favorite professor at Cal State San Bernardino, our math teacher. He was amazing, but he would always say this: a teacher must always be willing to learn, because if you ever stop learning, you stop growing. And how
That's right.
many companies have you seen over the years where they're like, hey, hire a bunch of people so you can sit on their island while they work?
Yep.
What?
Yep. Mhm.
Like, how do you
Right?
not want to get in here and keep doing this? Like, I am so excited to help people that they kind of think I'm a little crazy. Some
Right. I'm with you. I know. It's like, are you ever off? Like, no, I'm
like I
always
just
on or I'm asleep.
I just get so excited knowing that emotion is the only thing you're going to deal with when this happens, because at the end of the day, death is very much a part of life. I'm not
It's part
saying
of
expect
life.
it every single day, but it's going to happen. We don't know when, unless you got a crystal ball. It can be
That's
at
right.
any point in time. So when I know you're doing this, I'm excited knowing bills will be paid and things will be taken care of. And then you're like, all the worries that you think you're going to worry won't be worries.
That's
And
right.
really, it's just focus on your loved one and get them rested. And
Right.
then your family go ahead and do the grieving process.
Mhm.
So, you've been recruiting, old and new, right? You've
Right.
got newbies, you got veterans in the industry. But
Mhm.
with those veterans in your recruitment process, you face some companies trying to intimidate or scare your recruits. How do you handle such challenges and reassure potential agents about the opportunity?
That's so prescient right now, because I'm actually dealing with a manager from a different firm who just
Mm,
came over, and she's bringing about 50 agents with her. And the scare tactics have begun. My practice company tried to do the same thing with me. Here's the reality: is that we cross our T's, we dot our I's, we do things. If you do things with integrity, morals, and values from the beginning, the scare tactics won't work. Right now, they're going to
mm,
try it because they're huge companies, right? And they're going to try to scare you into kind of staying where you are, because the reality is they're thinking about their bottom line because they've become corporatized,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So I just helped them understand, like, here's a copy of your contract. Let's look at it. Let's ensure we do things the right way. If you need to terminate your contract with them or terminate your employment with them, because we're all self-employed, let's make sure we do that first, right? Let's do that first. Let's ensure that we're doing things the right way so they don't have any ammo to come at you, right?
Mm,
Let's not twist and churn our old clients from them. Like, let's not do that. You just got some bad
yeah,
policy 6 months ago. They'll go back to that client trying to now write a new policy because you just moved to another company.
yeah,
No, but do let your clients know that, hey, I made a change. I'm going here. This is going to be best for me and my career, my team, my agents, my clients, right? I just wanted to make sure I'm doing my job to let you know. Now, if that client makes a decision to now follow you, still do
yeah,
things the right way, don't twist and churn, but just make sure they're
yeah,
always in the best position. But there's nothing against them, you letting your clients know that you're making a move because now you're not violating any contract, you're not stealing any clients. Individuals, your clientele have every right to say, hey, I want to move here, or I don't want to
yeah.
move here. And so I
And
just,
that is, yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead.
That's just been really helping my agents just understand that because they're gonna try to scare you. They try to do the same thing with me, having lawyers call me, don't talk to me, talk to my attorney, and nothing ever came of it, right? They try to
Yeah,
do different weird stuff. You got victors? No, I don't. I know I don't because my business is good because I always do things with integrity, morals, and
yeah,
values. And now the money they owed me, ironically enough, now it's starting to come into my bank account, with commissions from them because it's kind of past their statute of limitations, and they're releasing
yeah.
those commissions and all the other stuff I kind of had hanging over there, even though they told me they weren't. So do things the right way, do it with integrity, and then you're going to be okay.
Absolutely. And I absolutely appreciate you specifically saying not touching the clients unless we are putting them in the new position. I've had that happen too many times. Sometimes it's my own people in terms of we had left one practice company to the next
Mhm.
practice company.
Right.
And I had an agent I was working with, and there was a manager that would help them out with the advanced market business. And
Mhm.
so we ended up writing a policy on the my agent's client for an annuity.
Mhm.
So he that guy ended up going to a different practice company to wherever he's at, but then he tried to rewrite that business. And the thing about it was, at the end of the day, if it was a better position, okay, cool. But it's an annuity in its
Yeah.
first year.
Render fees like
It, you're
crazy.
and you couldn't like to me, there's no way you're putting him in a better product.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah. It's in the first
I'm
year.
thank God it didn't happen, but it's
Mhm.
the fact that that person did that, and while there wouldn't have been any legal repercussions, it's like your integrity, bro. I'm
Exactly.
gonna tell people about you. I keep
Right.
receipts.
Right.
It like that's why I tell people, I'm like, look, if Patrice got a big mouth, but I never tell a lie. And I tell
Right.
people the truth. There's been people who's come on my show and they'll mention, like, well, we'll have our little pep talk before we do this. And they'll
Mhm.
tell me they're working with so and so. And I go, you better watch out. You better not shout.
Better not cry, right?
I'm telling you why.
We even got a Thanksgiving yet. We already on Christmas. That's how they get
Baby.
you. We're in the
And
Matrix.
I'm
That's how
telling
they get
them, I'm
you,
like,
right?
listen, I will never, at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, if you choose to work with this person, understand
Mhm.
this. People can change. I get that. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But this is what we experienced, and I heard them do it again.
Mhm.
So if this happens, I tried to warn you early on. You should have already been looking for a secondary plan. Like, I get it, right? If there's something in place and you don't want to make big moves like that, be settled. Like when they corporatize,
Right.
find another resource and start working it in, trying it out. And like I'm
Right.
even to the point that as I'm doing these podcasts and I come up on resources, specifically leads. I had a guy reach out to me today, like, hey, remember we were in that live transfer group? I found another company that's better. He's not making no money. He's connected with me because that's what this business is all about. Connecting
Right.
with people. I shouldn't have to be in the same IMO as you to keep me
Exactly.
with you. I should be able to call you,
Exactly.
talk to you, collaborate.
Absolutely. And we
Yeah.
need more of that. I think that the industry doesn't do itself a lot of favors because it's very archaic in a lot of ways and like kind of got the
Yeah.
dinosaur mentality. It's a monster industry. People don't like change, especially when they have power. But the reality
Yeah.
is things are changing.
$1,000.
There's some players out here like, look, we're in 2024, we're in the 21st century. We're going to utilize AI, we're going to utilize technology, we're going to make it easier for the client experience. We have
Yeah.
things that used to take 6 weeks now taking 30 minutes to get a client approved for a policy, and they're like, oh my God, that's it? I'm approved. I'm like, absolutely. I just had a client right now before this. We just put a $2 million term with living benefits in place for him because he's like, my wife has been hounding me. I need to do this. He's self-employed, right? He has
Yeah.
3 kids, 4, 2, and 11. And he's like, I need this. Money's really not an object, but I need to know how much I need. I have no idea. So we kind of
Yeah.
ran this whole situation and determined how much his insurable need was, and literally just got him approved. It took me 15 minutes.
And he's probably like, oh. Oh, okay.
Right? He's like, all right, I
I
got
got
a wife
so
on
much
my
time
back
for
now. Cool,
activities
I can
now.
shore this. He's like, I can go home and shore this.
But to your clients' credit, and this is why people need to be so patient with our clients. I never try to push my clients.
Right,
Like
never, ever.
when they're ready, they gonna do it. And when they want to
Mhm.
do that, and I'm the same way. I might listen, don't push me. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. If I have to push you back a day because I got something going on, you need to be patient with me.
That's
So
right.
I'm if my clients aren't ready to go today, that it is what it is. You know,
Absolutely.
but lost my train of thought, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the next question.
All right, go
So
for it.
blooper.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give those interested in recruiting their business but are struggling to find the right people?
Man, that's a good question because I think we've all been there, right? Like, man, I can't
Yeah.
find the right people. Well, first thing I would say that it's the law of averages. It's a numbers game,
Yep.
right? So the more volume that you have, the easier it is to find the person that you're looking for. But also, I can find leaders better, faster than you can recruit them because you have to
Mm,
develop them. So if you think about right now, we're in the greatest agent transfer in history. Not only the greatest wealth transfer, but the greatest agent transfer because of a lot of these companies are being gobbled up by these corporatized entities and the individual, brokers and agents are just dissatisfied and maybe like I was, they're kind of changing the dynamic of the company. So
yeah.
if you're really looking to recruit the right people, start in the industry for those who just are, dissatisfied. They're
Yeah.
dissatisfied with their home and their agents are dissatisfied. But if you're looking for people who aren't in the industry, because I do both, industry professionals,
Yeah.
one, I look for, as I mentioned, those people who really want who have it, right? So if you have a military
Yeah.
background or an athletic background, you're an athlete, maybe you have a background in sales, maybe you're a teacher, or maybe somebody who's just really enthusiastic and motivated. That's what I look for because I can teach someone this industry, but if you're not self-motivated, my
Yeah.
motivation, my external motivation is not going to help you only but so far. So
Yeah.
I look for individuals with certain backgrounds like that, and those individuals in the industry who are looking for a better home because they love the industry, but they're just starting to feel really burned, and they don't
Yeah.
want to give it up, but they really really want to help people. So I'm always looking for those individuals and always expanding, bringing those individuals on because if I can help people make a mark in their communities and by and large just recruiting the right individuals, I can touch every single community that needs us because the reality is we have a world of 8 billion people, and most people need exactly what we do. They just don't even know what they don't know.
Exactly. And I want to add to this, go to agentsgoreport.com. I have tons of dissatisfied agents on there looking for a home.
That's right, baby. They're
So they
gonna be
might
talking
be
to me
on the
real
fence.
soon.
They might be like, who sent you? Patrice sent you
Right?
to give you an olive branch to see if you want the opportunity I have. Here's my
Absolutely.
podcast video I did with her. I'm all what you see is what you get. I
That's
want
it.
you to ask me questions because if
Please
you
do.
don't, I have problems.
If you're not
You
asking me
deciding
questions,
anything.
you ain't even listen to me if you're not asking me questions.
Right? And that's what I'm
I'm
saying. And I
talking.
even tell some of my, my leaders that come onto the call, I'm just like, look, we're going to put the podcast on the website. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be on the YouTube. And it's like when agents are coming and looking for a home, they got a whole 30-40 minute video of you exactly who you are. If they didn't watch that before they call you, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
I feel like it's enough for me to write down some questions to really pinpoint and ask you specifically, especially when we talked about contracts and people moving things around.
right.
Let me see your contracts. That
Hmm.
should be a question out of them. Like, hey, you mentioned this in the video. What makes your contract different from that one that I should feel safe? Because you got me alarmed.
Right.
And now I'm asking questions, but that's what we want. Because you're already
Absolutely.
doing it to them. You're holding yourself accountable. Like, look, I know they're going to do these scare tactics. We're not stealing agents, or we're not going to be stealing clients or turning them unless we're putting them in a better position. Otherwise, let them know you're leaving, and then you'll try to service them as best you can. And and
Absolutely.
most insurance carriers offer agent change forms. So I
Yep.
assume that'll even help in terms of switching IMOs. If the client wants that, that's all you got to say to them. That's their
Absolutely.
choice at that point.
That's it. Do it the right way, and there's nothing they can do to you because you did it the right way.
So, building a legacy and your future vision. You've
Mhm.
been in the business for 8 years with your wife. What do you envision for the future? How do you want to impact others through your work?
Great question. How much time you got now? I'll keep it brief, I promise, because we have really big goals. We have a God size. We call them God size goals, God size dreams, right? Because if you aim big, you can miss big.
Yeah.
So I'll keep it within 12 months. How about that? So for our next 12 months, we're going to have 200 licensed agents in our firm over the next 12 months. We're gonna produce 10 six-figure earners minimal in the next 12 months. And what that means simply is that we're gonna help at least 1,000 families over the next 12 months in my entire
Yeah.
agency, because we have a mandate, we have a mission to honestly, leave no family behind. Some companies say that, but we truly, truly have I think we have the best leadership, the best products, the best relationships with our carriers, the best incentives to ensure that our agents are taken care of, our clients are taken care of, and even our partners, that they're taken care of, by making sure that we do business that sticks and stays, which is why our company has a standard of 90% persistency or better, period. Because we teach you to do things the right way, so you're not writing bad business, or you're not in a survival instinct mode and you're just trying to push
Yeah.
it through. We teach you how to do it
Yeah.
the right way and ensure that we're doing that through, because we're going public in 2030. We're going public in
Hey,
2030,
claim it.
right?
Claim it.
We're going public in 2030, and we're
Yes,
not
you
selling.
are.
We're not
It's,
selling,
it's so it's said and so it's
right?
done.
Right?
I
Absolutely.
write in my book every day. I am so happy and grateful now that I have 1 million visitors and subscribers on my website every single day on agentscorereportcard.com and the Great Reset podcast.com. It's already happened.
That's
It's
right.
done. It is done. So if you could give advice to someone just starting their journey, what would you say about balancing family, business, and personal growth?
Now, it might be a hot take. It might be a little I want to say unprofessional, but it might be a little controversial, if I will. You're talking about balance when you're first getting started. Here's a secret. There's no balance. All right. It's about it's about time management. So when
Yeah.
we first got started, there was times that, my daughter at the time was 1.5 and 2, and she didn't understand I had to go to the office
Yeah.
and, leave her with the babysitter because I had to go to the meeting. And then I had to
Mm.
have, the meeting after the meeting, and then eating after the meeting. Right. So she's like,
You're giving me trauma right
right?
now.
I know, right? 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 But you've been there. But it was necessary because I needed to understand and collapse my time frame. So the reality is, in the beginning, there is going to be a little unbalanced because you're trying to build something from scratch. But the cool part about it is, when you have systems, that kind of imbalance is very, very short-lived.
Yeah.
Right? So, but just understand that and be present. If it's time for business, whatever, you don't need to give 100% of
Yeah.
everything your whole day. If you're gonna say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm gonna work on my business for an hour today,"
Yeah.
during that hour, it's 100% business. You
Exactly.
say, "Hey, I have an hour, I have 2 hours with my family," then nothing else, no phone calls, hey, I have this
Yep.
hour, 2 hours, I'm present with my family. All
Yeah.
right. And if it's like, "Hey, I need to do leadership team building for this hour to this hour," then that's what you focus on. So it's about managing that time and giving 100%, giving maximum effort in the time that you allot, and just be present where you are. And that's what helps.
1000%.
Live by your calendar. My calendar is my boss.
Yep. It
If it's
really,
any
and
calendar,
I created it. I'm pretending I got things
right?
to do.
I don't want to
Like
create
I
it,
have
right?
no
But
white space on my calendar. Everything it's all scheduled. Maybe not my day-to-day things, but I have my non-negotiables
that's
that I
right.
need to do. So I'm always, because my thing is like I don't want to get overwhelmed.
Mhm.
And one of my books that I'm reading, Asking to Ship But Given, it was talking about being on a road
Mhm.
and you're driving in a car, but there's a tree in the road. So it's
Right.
like, do I slow down so the impact's not as bad, or do I try to bust through this thing? Or do I
Right.
ask another question? Why is the tree
Tree in the middle.
there? And sometimes that's how we move in business. We're going so fast, we're not paying attention to the steps. And so
Mhm.
I try not to get overwhelmed with myself, right? With editing, reaching out to people to come to podcasts, creating the questionnaires, working on the website. I have a lot of moving parts. So I have to be organized and I have to have non-negotiables to
Right.
move towards where I'm going. Because there was a point where I had like 10 videos to edit. And I was like, why am I waiting? I'm going to get them all done now. And even today, I had another profound thought. All of my videos, I have about 14 podcast videos recorded and edited and ready to go. I'm like, why aren't they uploaded already and scheduled to be dispersed? Why haven't, like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
No.
that is such easy work rather than me fuddling up. I need to come up with my schedules and when it's going to come out and all the things. But like I said, I'm always learning and growing how to be more efficient. And that's what you do. You constantly what's the word I want to say? Just keep shaping your business as it's going along and making sure it fits, because every week can change, because you're going to get better with your time management, understand what takes too much time or what's better to be done during the daytime versus nighttime because the kids ain't
Yes.
here.
That's right. That's right. We don't panic, we pivot, right? We just make it happen.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. So looking back, what are you most proud of in your journey and what legacy do you hope to build for the future generations?
That's such a great question. Oh, what am I most proud of, and what legacy am I looking to build for future generations? I'm most proud of, honestly, my relationships and my loyalty to the people who've been loyal to me.
Mm,
Right, because I think if you're around this business long enough, you have people trying to poach your team. You have people going to ups and downs. You have toxic people. You have people who ride or die for you. You have people who say they're going to ride or die and then they kind of disappear. The white van comes and snatches them up. You never see them again, right? So you have all those things. But I think I'm most proud of just that being loyal and being a person of my word. That's what I'm
yeah,
most proud of because you only have if you're old enough, you have your balls in your word, right? So.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and those are the non-negotiables. If I say I'm going to do something, if I say I have your back, then I'm going to have your back. And I'm going to show you by my actions. So I think that's what I'm most proud of. And the
yeah,
fact that I've been able to cultivate relationships with people, and they can see that in me, and they want to stick with me.
yeah.
My wife,
You're like, I'm do as I do, end as I say.
right?
Okay.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you. Here you go, right?
Exactly, because I feel like we grew up in a generation where it even translated in our leadership is like, do as I say, not as I do. And it's like, no, 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 baby. That is not
No,
how this works. Because I need to have a leader that I can, because I want to copy what my leader is doing. And, I've made those mistakes before and it cost me. And it was
hmm
nothing I did that was, in terms of any fraudulent business, if you will, but it was more like pushing clients. Like how I said, I don't push nobody. You want this or not?
no pressure.
You're going to die.
Right? We all gonna go. We all going
Like
at some
my
point.
favorite line to my clients is like when they tell me, "Oh, I'm gonna be here forever," type things. I always get those guys, right? And I go, I'm like, "Can I tell you something serious?" And he's like, "What?" And I said, "A new study just came out, and guess what they said? 100% of everybody is gonna die."
Right.
He but he loved it. He loved it. He knew I was there to help because some people are so used to being sold. And then he was
Right.
like, "Show me what you got." Like he hit
Right.
me with that. I'm like,
Give
"That's
it
what
give it
I
to me.
got."
Right? Like, yeah, give it to me now. Yeah, I got you. I see a real person. You got me. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
But the connection. And I think the second part of your question, if I may, is what
yeah,
are we trying to build for the next generation? Ensuring that we redefine the industry, and when people hear life insurance, they're financial professional, they don't freak out and go into a cocoon of fear or just distrust. And the
yeah,
only way to do that is to operate with integrity, teach your agents and your agencies how to operate with integrity. So we literally physically change the dynamic by our actions and our deeds, not just what our words are. And so
yeah,
that's the mark we want to leave for the future generation. So when they move into our industry, there's no negative stigmas that are attached, and it's more so like, oh, I've been looking for somebody like you. So
yeah,
I think some of that is happening organically because of
yeah,
it, but if we can drive that forward and make sure that people know there's a place to where they can be taken care of, there's no pressure, there's no sales tactics, right? It's just having a conversation with a human being
yeah.
who's trying to help you get to where you want to be. And so that's
And we're doing it right here. We are doing the
it.
work.
That's
We're
it.
doing the work. We're doing it together right now. You're doing it when you get off this phone, and we are both amplifying that message. So
Yeah.
here are my rapid fire questions. So you gotta
Okay.
be quick at these answers.
Okay.
This
Talk
will
to
be
me.
fun. So
Okay.
here we go. You ready?
Go.
Are you marked? You set? Go. All right. Biggest lesson learned in the business.
Be loyal and be coachable.
All right. Favorite business tool or resource?
Um, People, my team.
Hey. Best advice for someone unsure about staying in or leaving the military?
Interview the rest of your life, and if you can't say you absolutely want to be that way in a year or two or three, then maybe it's time to get out.
Ooh. And one word to describe your entrepreneurial journey.
Not done yet. Not one word, incomplete.
Well,
One
that
word,
brings us
incomplete.
to the end of our show. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here and helping amplify the message and being the message. And with that being said, this is the Great Reset Podcast where insurance meets accountability. Until we see you next time.
It's been a pleasure.
Looking for the best ways to stand out in the insurance industry, connect with other agents, even find resources? Welcome to agentscorereport.com, where transparency meets opportunity. Hundreds of agents are already building their credibility with verified profiles. Don't get left behind. Join a growing community of top professionals who are making their mark. Sign up today at agentscorereport.com and take control of your reputation. Your future clients are waiting.